Hey, what's up and hello? This is the Chris Nicole bringing you my views on life, love, and the world of entertainment through my eyes. Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, depending on what time you are watching this live. Hello, crew. Hope all is well. Make sure you hit the like button on the way in, please. And this is my review on a brand new show called Heart and Hustle Houston. Season 1, episode 1, I believe it's called Make It Rain. Now, first things first, I was hoping that this was not a Carlos King production. And thank you, God, it is not. Okay. It is not a Carlos King production. Okay. It is, in fact, a Jesse Collins production. Now, Jesse Collins actually did The Real Husbands of Hollywood, if I'm not mistaken. So, yes, so we have someone totally different who's on OWN TV who is doing a reality show. Now, with that being said, I'm a little nervous, you guys. I can't front. I'm a little nervous because it's starting to give me that Houston is just Atlanta 2.0, or they are trying their best to kind of take Atlanta's spot, so to speak. Now, we clearly know in the Black community, for whatever reason, there's two places that a lot of people want to migrate to, thinking that is just going to change their life, and that is Atlanta and Houston. So I guess since Atlanta has had literally over a decade, no, not even over a decade, over 20 plus years of, people actually constantly talking about it, constantly promoting it on every reality show, Houston may be next in line, or they desperately want it to be next in line. And I say desperately because they start off the show saying that Houston is the Hollywood of the South. Well, baby, I thought that was Atlanta. I thought that was Atlanta, not Houston. When did Houston become the Hollywood of the South? And then they mentioned, after saying that, it's the home of Beyonce and Meg Thee Stallion. And I'm like, I don't care. I don't care. Are you saying that it is the Hollywood of the South because of them? Because I can almost guarantee you have had more stars come out of Atlanta. You have definitely had more stars coming out of LA. So yeah, so I was just like, that's interesting. Y'all calling it the Hollywood of the South. But then at the same time, they also say those two are from there, but then said that they are a lot of strong women entrepreneurs there. And I said, okay, yep, sounds like Atlanta 2.0. So with that, I don't know. I am kind of curious to see a whole nother city that is definitely has a good Black population, and Houston is one of those cities. It was definitely given to me waiting to exhale, like shoop, 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 doop, do. The earth tone colors, for those who know, Waiting to Exhale had the whole earth tone colors. This is what it was given, and I think clearly production wanted it to be that way. Okay, so yeah, it was given Waiting to Exhale in so many ways, but we are definitely going to have to see if it gives that throughout the actual season. Hey, Danielle, don't come to ATL, child. We full. Go to Houston. Child, let me tell you something. I don't even know if it's even fully possible that Houston can be full ever. That city is so huge. That city is huge. Like Atlanta, the city itself, the city of Atlanta, because a lot of people want to assume like the outskirts of Atlanta is Atlanta, and because people will say they're from Atlanta and they're not from the city. Atlanta, the city, is not that big. Houston, the actual city, is insane. Like it will take you over an hour to get to one part of Houston to the other without traffic. So with that though, let's actually get into the ladies, okay? First things first, we actually meet Latoria, okay? Now, Latoria is the lovely lady in the upper right-hand corner with kind of like the dark burnt orange or whatever, the kind of like shoulder action. That is Latoria. Latoya is a publicist, and she is actually co-owner of Rain Lounge. And Rain Lounge looks really good. Like, it really looks good. It looks beautiful. And one of the other castmates says that she loves purple and she loves Prince, and it's a dedication to him. Totally can see it. Totally could see it with the purple and everything else. I could totally see it. So she said that she is actually inviting the girls to her lounge to do like a taste testing, check out the service, so she can kind of get some, opinions on it, especially from very successful other women in the city. And then we meet Chloe. Let me take a drink. Chloe is the one that just wants to make sure she stands out no matter what. Chloe is the only one in this picture that did not follow the memo, follow the assignment. I would say she did it on purpose, or production did it on purpose, because why is everyone else in these dark earth tone colors, the dark oranges, the browns, and here you are in this cream? You can't tell me she's trying to do everything to be the villain and to be the standout, okay? Now, with that being said, she is a wedding and event planner, and she is a lot. But I will say this: her body is bodying. Her body is giving. Now, I don't know if she done had surgery on the actual body. My educated guess, when we see a picture later on in the show of her and her son when she was younger, she definitely has had some work done. I just don't know if she didn't have work on the body, but you would not know that she got a grown kid. Now, I think, if I'm not mistaken, they said she is in her 40s. If I'm not mistaken, I ain't gonna lie. She don't look like she in her 40s. She does not look like she is in her 40s. She is 44 years old. I would never know that she was 44 years old. So she looks good for her age. And that's probably going to be the last thing nice I'm going to say about her, because she's given a lot. She's given a try hard. She's given way too much. Now, she comes in, says that the lounge is beautiful, and then we meet Labrina. Now, y'all already know I butcher names, and baby, these names are given a lot. So I'm gonna butcher them. But Labrina is actually the lady who is at the center. She's in the middle picture at the bottom. She has the really dark brown on with like the long hair. That is Labrina, and Labrina owns a spa. She is married to a former football player, and baby, her house. Ooh, honey, her house sitting on them acres with the ranch, the horses, baby, it is giving. You are definitely living that life. Now, here's the thing. If they are Atlanta 2.0, I have a feeling we're going to hear about a couple of scams. We're going to hear about a couple of this ain't really they home type of thing. I'm hoping that's not the case for them, because, baby, that house is absolutely, and just the land, amazing. That would be one benefit about moving to Texas, because they just got so much land that you can buy. But yeah, she owns a spa. And then we have Ro. She's a general manager. She has opened up bars with like James Harden and other people. And she is in the upper left, right corner, kind of with the whole brown with the curly hair. So yeah, that is Ro. And then we have Maneria. Look, I'm about to call her Manure. It's Manura. Her name is different, but she actually was a engineer. Like, she was an electrical engineer. And she says she will always be not only the only woman, but the only Black woman. And she did that for 20 years. And then she ended up going into being a content creator. Now, one thing that she definitely had me so into is when she said that she was working so hard at her job that she had to go to ER because it just got that bad for her. And I said, baby, I can relate. Now, I have never been to ER, but trust and believe me, I have stressed myself out to the max dealing with the job. You know what I'm saying? So I totally related to her on that. But then she ended up being a full-time content creator. And that's absolutely amazing. I'm sure she's probably making good money, but I'm like, how does she transition? But anyways, moving on to her. And then we have, in my opinion, who is going to be probably the male, like the Love and Marriage Huntsville male of this show, which is Elena or Alana, tomato. Now, Alana, she owns her own makeup studio. And I love her hair. I love that short, curly look. I mean, she has the face for it. She has the head for it. She almost made me want to chop off my hair. And then I said, my head is too big. But we're going to see how this is going to go with her. Because when I tell you, I feel like she's talking too much. Even to the married couples, she talking too much. So with that, all of these ladies are sitting down at Lataria's lounge, and Elena gets a compliment about her nails. And then someone is like, is that your wedding ring on your finger? And she says, no, I'm not wearing it. And lo and behold, Chloe says, you don't wear your wedding ring. And I'm like, there's a lot of people who don't wear their wedding ring. Now, I understand some do it for shady purposes, but some just don't wear it and they're perfectly happy in their marriage. But of course, Chloe had a lot to say, like, I don't care if it's been 45 years, you better always wear that ring. Now, with that, Alana's like, yeah, no, I'm not wearing it right now, whatever. And then we find out that she has been with her husband since she was a junior in high school. Okay. So they have been together for over 20 years. And I think they've been married for 15 years. And she has never been with another man besides her husband. And Chloe sitting up there like, girl, that's boring. That's boring. I could never. And I'm just like, you could never, but there are some people who literally that's what it is. And yes, they have literally fallen in love, been with that man or woman the whole entire time, and that it's the only thing that they know. Yes, it still happens even in 2025. So with that, Chloe is like, I can't do it. And so at that point, Alana is going through trials in her marriage right at that moment. And the thing is, I feel like there are peaks and valleys. There's always the roller coasters of any relationship. They say the first 5-7 years, if you can get past that, you're good. But there are definitely, people who live separate lives and are still married because they definitely need that break. Now, I don't know why she has decided to share so much on this show, but it does look like her husband is willing to go through this with her. But I just feel like she's sharing a little bit too much. But y'all can let me know what y'all think about that. But she tells them at the table that her and her husband, Alana and her husband, which I think his name is Josh, they're sleeping in separate rooms. They come together when they come together, but they're in separate rooms. And I'm like, why did you have to tell them that? I feel like she needs to vent to a therapist and not these women. And granted, there are some women who are at that table who are single and some who are married. But I feel like even with the married couple, she needs to kind of just keep her mouth shut. But it seems like it's a little too late. So at that point, Chloe says, look, do you feel like you have outgrown Josh? Have you outgrown your husband? And so she's like, well, look, at the end of the day, we're just working it out. And Chloe's like, well, because Alana, girl, you are a baddie. She was like, now Josh, on the other hand, and Alana was like, my man is fine. And Chloe's like, Josh ain't fine, girl. Oh, no, he's not. Y'all think Josh is fine? And I'm like, why do you care if he's fine or not? Why do you care if he's fine or not? She thinks he's fine. Okay, it doesn't matter. And the fact that you cackling talking about somebody's husband right in front of them, like, I'm just like, girl. But again, I'm gonna tell you what Chloe give me vibes of. And I was just like, Now, interesting enough, we see Josh later on in the episode, and I don't think he's ugly at all. I think he is an attractive, cute guy. So I was just like, what is the big deal? As if you got the finest man on the planet. Like, he is a nice looking guy. But with that, everybody was like, "Ooh, child, Chloe, honey, she a straight shooter, and she be saying some crazy stuff, honey. But that's just Chloe." And I'm like, "Yeah, somebody need to cuss Chloe out and check Chloe for some of the stuff that she says." So at that point, we find out though that Chloe is dating a guy who is 17 years younger than her. 17 years younger than her, super close to her son's age. It's a no for me. And it was clearly a no for Labrina too, because she was like, y'all know dang on well y'all need to stop lying, encouraging this nonsense between her and this young guy. She was like, all I see is cougar and he is a cub. And she was like, first of all, guys are already behind us anyways, as far as how long it takes for them to accomplish things versus what we accomplish. And the fact that you want to date a guy even 17 years younger than you, honestly, I will never understand it. I'm sure there are people who follow me who are in relationships where their man or their woman is much younger or older. I just, for me, couldn't do it because I feel like we're definitely in different, like we should be in different goals in life. And I don't care if it's a woman doing it or a man doing it. I'm always kind of side eyeing when I hear that. When I hear that a man is, say, dating someone who is easily over 10 years plus older, like he's older or younger. It gives me, what are you doing? And y'all let me know how y'all think about that. But it gives me a side eye on a lot of levels. But with that being said, Labrina's just pretty much saying, like, you need to be mindful because what is this relationship really about? And of course, Chloe didn't, she had an issue with Labrina coming at her about that situation. But notice Chloe feels like can't nobody check her when she feels like she wants to say something. So she's definitely that girl. I can say it. The set of rules is I can do it. I can say it, but you can't. So with that being said, I love the fact that at the end of that segment, though, when they was giving Latoria advice about her lounge, she said, look, good, bad, ugly, when we leave this table, it's still all love. And at that point, I was like, that's a sweet way to end that segment, but we'll see. We'll see if it's going to be all love or if I smell some fakeness in that room. So with that being said, Elena goes to Latoria's house and she says that one of the main issues that she has in her marriage is that she works with her husband. I guess her husband is involved in that makeup studio, which can make or break a marriage. And I agree. Like when you're living together and then at the same time you're working together, I know there are people who make it work, but I'm sure that causes a strain. Like that's just too much. That's too much time y'all spending together. So at that point, it's one thing to be in an investment business where you guys are maybe not necessarily doing the ins and outs of it, but starting something like that from the ground up, I'm sure caused a lot of strain on their marriage. So interesting enough, we find out some tea, just a little bit of tea about her marriage later on that I'm going to discuss. But she still says it ain't even close. Like she said, there's still some stuff that we don't know about her marriage. And I'm like, child, what is she about to expose? This is why I say she's giving me that girl Mel from Marriage Huntsville. I never watched the show, but the way that it started off that first season, I saw a little bit, like a couple of episodes, and the way that her fans go back and forth, I feel like Elena's going to be that girl for this show. But y'all let me know what y'all think about that. So Latoria is pretty much saying, I can feel this girl's pain. I feel like, you know what I'm saying, like that there's definitely something there. And, she's not really saying anything. And I'm like, yeah, she's not saying anything. And honestly, I wish she wouldn't have. But hey, I feel like this is probably going to make her the breakout star possibly of this show. So we'll see. So Labrina's house, honey, with them beautiful acres in that fabulous home. We see that she invites everyone to her house. She's been with her man for 10 years. They have only been married for 2 years and been together 8 years. That is a long time to be with someone and you don't know if he gonna give you a ring or not and have that commitment. But with that being said, I like them together, but she invites all the couples. That's where we meet again Josh. Think he's a handsome guy. We meet manure. It kind of reminds me of horse manure. Like, oh my gosh, Manira. Okay, Manira, her husband comes also. And so at that point, I personally feel like since Alana was willing to be vulnerable about what's going on in her life, she is the target now for this show. She's the target because of the fact that she was willing to be vulnerable and say that her life is not perfect. Now, interesting enough, Chloe tried to say in her confessionals that she always seems so, like, I guess she's trying to say uppity or so posh or whatever the case may be. Just because someone carries that type of confidence doesn't mean that they're not going through something. Like, she just is still holding her head up high while she's going through something, and there's nothing wrong with that. So at that point, when they all go over there, it was actually just the couples. And so literally the girls go out and talk to Alana and say, you know, we're here for you as far as, you know, what's going on as far as marriage and stuff is concerned. And they had their little powwow, again, giving me very waiting to exhale moments for sure. So then we see Chloe in her element and at home. And let's talk about this, y'all. And y'all let me know what y'all think about this. Let's talk about it. Oh, thank you. Yes, I'm sorry, you guys. Hey Shayla, hey Danielle, hey Mia. Definitely hit the likey like button. And for those who are just listening in, say hello. You know, let's talk about this because this is a brand new show. So this is like the perfect time for us to really dig into these people. So we are now in Chloe's world, and I got an issue, y'all. I definitely feel like Chloe is the true example of hurt people hurt people. And the fact that she just, because she's still hurt about what happened to her, she will never understand, or she doesn't care to understand that there's a time and place for everything and keeping it real. But we see her at home with her son, Nico. And her son Nico looks just like her, by the way, and her two daughters. And we see Nico pretty much telling one of the daughters that she needs to stop eating the snacks or whatever. I guess she had 3 snacks and she was talking about she was going to eat 3 snacks. He was like, no, you can have one and you can have the other one later. So then Chloe comes in and she's like, what y'all doing? And Nico was like, she being bad. I think that baby's name was Noah or something like that. And he was like, she being bad, she being a big back. And I was like, did he just say she being a big back? And then what's so crazy is that Chloe chimes in and says, eating all the food probably. Y'all want to know what I think? I think Chloe that mama. I think Chloe that girl who literally will say mean stuff like that to her kids and think that it's cute or think that it helps them, and she doesn't even understand that it's kind of flipping their self-esteem. What do you mean being a big back because she's a typical child who maybe wants more than one snack? And that girl she ain't a big back. She ain't a big girl. And even if she was, why are you saying something like that? So you want her to have that type of self-conscious as far as what she's eating and things like that already. Like, I understand that there's limits, but to call her a big back and your own brother calls you that, which I guess to a certain extent could be understandable because that's that brother sister rivalry. I can't even speak right now. Dang it. This is what the problem is when you talking all freaking day at work and now you're trying to do a review and you can't even talk. But you know what the heck I'm talking about. Y'all know. I love y'all. Anyways, moving on. So that brother and sister back and forth, that is typical, even though the fact that Nico is much older. So you would think that he wouldn't be like that. But the fact that their own mother chimes in and says probably eating everything, to me, she's given that type of, I'm going to put those insecurities in my child early. It's just me. Did anybody else catch that? Y'all let me know what y'all think. But when she did that and the brother did that, I said, oh, this is interesting. This is interesting. And because of the fact that she makes sure that she stay on top of her body and how she look and everything else, she definitely giving me the vibes of you have to stay a certain size, you have to do this, you have to do that, you have to represent to the fullest type of stuff. She's giving me those vibes. So anyways, we find out that she was actually married. And finally, in their 7th anniversary, they ended up getting married. And this is the two girls. I don't think that they're twins. I think one is actually older and the other one is younger. But after they got married, 2 months after, her husband passed from a massive heart attack. That had to be extremely devastating. And if you ask me, she's still suffering from it. She still has not processed it. She has processed it by trying to move on as if she just has to keep pushing, but she has not processed that yet. That she lost that man and the way that she lost that man, and pretty much she is out here now on her own. So with that being said, brothers are jerks sometimes. Of course the brothers can be jerks, but typically what I have seen for the most part, when you have a really older brother, because it looks like Nico potentially could have been even in high school maybe when those girls were born. Typically when there's that much of an age gap, is typically like the big brother or the big sister is like mama or daddy 2.0. You know, so they're more protectors versus when you have the stair climber brothers and sisters that are constantly going back and forth. But my whole thing is, even with him saying that and then Chloe saying probably eating everything, it gives me vibes that she feels like it's acceptable to kind of pick on her kids and ridicule her kids. You know what I'm saying? Like it definitely seems that way. Sorry, that is my opinion, but it's giving me those vibes. And if you were willing to say that on camera, I can't even imagine what you say off camera. You know what I'm saying? So with that, when that story came out about her husband, I was like, that could be a lot. She has tried to just bury that hurt, and the way that she thinks that is she's moved on, she hasn't. Hence the reason why she says certain things and do certain things, and she doesn't realize that that can hurt people's feelings. Yeah, it's definitely given that. But we find out that while her son lives there, they don't really talk or get along, and he finds any excuse to leave when he needs to leave because he's upset that she is dating a younger man that's only a couple years older or younger than him. I think a couple of years older than him. And so he don't want to talk about it. And the mom is like, Chloe's like, I don't appreciate how he's treating me. And I'm like, okay, look, at the end of the day, if he ain't paying no bills in there, that is her house. He may not like that she's dating that younger guy, but also you can also move and actually get your own place so then you don't have to see it. But at the same time, I can understand his frustration too. I can understand that your own mama is dating the guy that's a couple years. You probably could have went to high school with him. That is a very awkward situation and a weird situation. And why would you want your son to be accepting of that? Granted, you're grown and you pushed him out of your womb, but at the same time, I feel like he has every right to feel weird about that situation. You know what I'm saying? Like it just very, very weird. So with that, she's, they're gonna have their issues back and forth or whatever regarding that. But they end up going to Latoria's house. And Ro is over there and Chloe is over there, and they trying to hook up Latoria. And they trying to tell Latoria that she needs to get a Nigerian man. And Chloe said she used to date a Nigerian, but then she gonna say in the process that she used to date a Nigerian. She was like, "Oh yeah, but he was a scammer." I said, "Child, not y'all giving the stereotypes of Nigerians. Like, not y'all doing this. Like, first of all, the fact that they was like, I think you need to get a Nigerian. I was like, why?" Why she need to get a Nigerian? But then at the same time say, oh well, he was a scammer. Oh, but they just make better man. Whatever. Like, whatever. I was just like, Latoria will find the man that's supposed to be meant for her when it's time, that time. But I was just like, y'all sitting up there giving her, she needs to date a Nigerian man, but you giving her all warning signs about Nigerian men. Because, of course, we know the rumors that whether they're true or not, Nigerian men or Nigerians in general, they always try to say they're scammers. So, yeah. But with that, oh, Mia, well, I think wait, Mia, did you tell me that before? I can't remember, Mia. I don't know if this recently happened, but I'm so sorry. Yeah, that's yeah. And again, I really feel like Chloe has not healed from losing her husband like that. Now, I don't know how long ago it was that he passed, but I can't imagine being with someone for 7 years, finally getting married, and then 2 months later, he's gone. He's gone. So I do feel like she hasn't processed that. She hasn't. And she's trying to find ways to drown her sorrow and her depression about that instead of actually trying to work through it. And I think that's what it is. I really think that's what it is for her. But with that, at that point, that episode, I mean, not the episode, but that segment was over with them trying to hook Latoria up with a Nigerian. But then Alana goes to Labrina's house and she said, I'm tired of suffering in silence. And I'm thinking, like, we'll go to a therapist. I'm telling you right now, sometimes talking to people, talking especially to also fellow women can sometimes be disastrous, but she is being vulnerable in this moment talking to Labrina, and so she tells Labrina that during her engagement with Josh cheated on her. And so Labrina said, hey, I done went through storms like crazy with my husband. And she was like, but we worked through it. But that's when Alana was willing to show, I guess, and put her walls down and say, yeah, he cheated on me during the engagement. And I didn't want to say anything because, of course, naturally, I didn't want to look stupid that even with me being with this man during the engagement and he cheated on me and I still married him. And I was just like, yeah, it does make you look crazy. But at the same time, she was young too. And that's all she knew. So I'm not going to look at her like you so stupid because she hasn't really lived life. The only life that she's lived is with Josh. So she didn't necessarily know and probably didn't know how to handle it. And who knows what her family background is or dynamic is on how they told her to handle those type of situations. But yeah, you have a man that's willing to cheat on you during the actual engagement. It's not going to get better. It's not going to get better. And I guess she's really realizing that now. She's realizing that now. That clearly the cheating continued, I guess, because you gave him a pass from the beginning. You still married him. So as far as he saw it, everything is good in the hood because, I mean, she still married me, so I can still continue this and she'll still stay with me. So at that point, that's when the episode goes off. But before the episode goes off, she says there is a lot that we don't know about her marriage. There's so much more that is not known. And I'm like, ooh, what is that? Like, what is going on here? Like, I don't know if I really want to know, but do I want to know? Because I'm like, you've already said that he's cheated. What else is there possibly that literally will make it even worse? So I guess we're going to find out during this season, maybe, possibly. But yeah, that's when the episode goes off. I mean, I give this episode a B minus. There wasn't, really a lot to actually be like, ooh, like I can't wait to see this season. Right now, it's given okay. I do feel like though that it eventually will give Atlanta 2.0. And I think they're really trying to make Houston the new Atlanta, like I said earlier. And I don't know if that's a wise decision. I don't know if that's a wise decision. Like, you got to give Houston, like, Houston has to have their own flavor. Like, I feel like what we're seeing here, you can plop this show in Atlanta and it will still be the same show. What makes this show stand out and makes it Houston? And that's, I feel like, what's missing at this point. If I literally just saw, let's say, Heart and Hustle without the city behind it, I could easily think this is any city down south. It's Atlanta, it's Charlotte, like, and that's the thing. You want to make sure that the characteristics of Houston and being a Black woman in Houston stands out. And right now, I'm not getting that. I'm not getting that. So he cheated with her. Ooh, no, I will hope that is not the case. I will hope that is not. That's a little too much. It has been a year and a half, I think. Oh, yes, I have. It's been a year and a half. I think her husband passed during the pandemic. Oh, okay. So your husband passed a year and a half ago. Yeah, I think you had told me about that a while back and we discussed it. But you said you think her husband passed during the pandemic. You think that was probably maybe what caused it too? I don't know. Yes, therapy. I think therapy is needed. I feel like everyone needs therapy. And for people who literally make it seem like they don't need therapy, those are the main ones who need it. Therapy is so needed. Plus, since dating in the current climate is so bad, it's got to be easier to just have fun and not take anyone serious. I want to know. I'm so curious. Yeah, I want to know too. I really want to know what else is there about this marriage that we need to know. Because, but yeah, I would hope and pray it ain't no cheating with her mama stuff. That's giving Evelyn in the game. Let me sip on that. Let me sip on that. But anywho, with that being said, you guys, let me know what you guys think about this episode. And what do you think about this show? Do you think it's going to be a successful show? Well, so far in the vote, you guys are thinking yes, it's going to be successful. We'll see. I'm going to write it out. Y'all know when I start getting bored or it starts getting ignorant or just spiritually, it's just not sitting with me, I will bounce on a show in a heartbeat. So I'm hoping that is not the case, but it's definitely giving me the waiting to exhale, the shooby-doos. They count on me through thick and thin. And I think that that's what they were really trying to go with the vibe of it. But we'll see what it gives. We'll see what it gives. We clearly know there are a lot of successful Black women in general, but definitely down south because your money can stretch and your money is long. So kudos to these women for all being very successful women. But yeah, again, I don't know the difference between this show and any other show in Atlanta. And at least when Atlanta used to first come out with reality shows, you saw why this was Atlanta versus any other city, in my opinion. With this Houston show, I'm not seeing yet why this is Houston and why we need to fall in love with Houston. Not seeing that. Not seeing that yet. And maybe they will. Maybe they will. So with that, you guys, I would definitely love for you guys to continue the conversation about this. What do you guys think about this show? Do you feel like it's getting boring? Do you feel like it has potential? All of these ladies are beautiful. Oh, and by the way, Manura or horse manure, Manira, whatever her name is, she is actually in the middle at the top. That's her. Okay. And she is actually in her 40s also. All of these women are in their mid or late 30s or their early mid 40s. Okay. So I will say all of them look good. All of them look good. I will say though, Lataria she looks the oldest. Don't she like look the oldest to y'all? She looked the oldest, but she's actually the youngest, I think. I think when I looked at those ages, she the youngest out of the bunch, but she look older. And I think it's the way that she dressed. I feel like it's the way that she dressed. Way that she dressed that I saw the way she was on the show, she almost dressed as if she's not really confident with her body. Because even when Alana came to her house and Alana was like, this is your comfortable lounge around clothes, she kind of looked like a mama about to make her kids some sandwiches. I'm like, not a vibrant 36-year-old who's a publicist with her own business and everything. It was just giving, you know what I'm saying, a little, I don't know. She kind of dressed a little too old for her age, but that's just my opinion. Y'all let me know what y'all think. But with that being said, I'm interested. I'll be watching and definitely watching your reviews. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. So with that being said, you guys, please like, share, and subscribe. And I will see you on my next video. Toodles.